Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to your Verbling family. Hi, I'm Teacher Oakley. And in this next hour, we're going to have a conversation about family. We're going to learn some vocabulary regarding family and family relationships, as well as talk about the structure of families in your culture, and maybe talk about our family relationships and how they affect our lives. Maybe I'll have you describe some people in your family and maybe give some opinions about the importance of family in your life. Hello, hello, and here we go. Hi, guys. Hi, Dennis. Good to see you again. Hey. Are you guys really in? Looks like you're stuck. Oops. He was stuck. Hi, Dennis. Oh. Dennis, give me a shout when you get your microphone working. Hi.
I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yes, I do. Loud and clear, sir. Very good.
Hello again.
Hi. Good to see you again. Hi, Bertha. Is that correct? Bertha?
Hi, my name is Bertha.
Beata. Beata.
Yes, hello.
That's a very unique name.
I'm from Poland. It's not a unique name.
Okay, all right.
In my country.
All right. Does it have special meaning?
I don't think so. I don't know. Really, I don't know. It's an ordinary name.
It is, really? Well,
Yes.
it's extraordinary to me.
Okay, it's very nice.
Beata,
Yes.
is your name a family name? Was there anybody else in your family who had your name before you?
No, only me. Only me.
Yeah. Okay.
Only me.
All right.
There's a lot of time ago, there was an actor who his name is Bertha, and my mother likes her very much, and my name is because of that.
Okay. Okay, I see. Interesting. All right. Well, my name is Oakley. Hi. And actually, my name was my grandmother's brother's name. I guess that would be my great uncle. He passed away before I was ever even born, but I was named after a family member who died before I was born, actually.
I've never heard this name before. Actually.
What name is that?
Oakley.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's unusual. It's definitely unusual in American culture. There are some people with the last name Oakley, but it is very unusual name. I have only met one other, and actually he was one of my best friend's children, so he was named after me. So I really haven't met anybody, but it's a weird name. You want to know what it means? My name means oak tree in the meadow. Sounds very important, doesn't it? Probably some ancient druid name or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Beata actually in Latin is like holy.
Oh, like beautification, like holiness. Oh, very nice. Oh, very good. See, I told you it was a great name. Okay, am I talking to Anastasia, I'm going to guess it's Roxanne.
Yes, it's today I am. Hi again.
Hi again. How are you? Again.
Fine, fine, thank you.
Okay. And also, hello to Igor.
Hi,
Hi.
Teacher Oakley.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks.
Thanks.
And hi, Alberto. How are you today?
Hi. Hi, teacher.
Hi.
Fine.
Good to see you. Okay. Let's start out our discussion talking about family relationships. Let's work on a little vocabulary. So I'm going to ask you questions, see if you understand some of this vocabulary. Dennis.
Yes.
Dennis, do you have any siblings? Uh-huh.
Yes, it's a brother or sister. Yeah.
That is correct.
So I have one. I have brother.
You have a brother? Is he older or younger?
He's 9 years older.
9 years older. Wow. That's a big age difference.
Not such a big
Really?
difference. I don't know the mean. It means so normal.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you have a relationship with your with your older brother? I'm sorry.
Yes, of course. But we live in separate cities now. But
I have a
yeah.
I have a question for you regarding your language. In your language, is there a separate word for older brother, younger brother, or older sister, younger sister? Because in English we don't have that. But I found that in other languages that's very common. A separate word that means older brother or younger brother.
No.
No, you don't have either. Okay. Living in the Philippines, it's very common. They have totally separate words. You have to use
it's very common in all Asian language, I think. As far as I know, it's very common in Chinese. It's a very huge description as concern relatives.
Right. I mean, we say elder brother or younger brother, sure, but they have a totally different word. Even somebody in the street, if I'm trying to get a taxi, I yell, "Kuya, Kuya, come here," and that means older brother. It shows a little bit of respect, even though I'm actually older than most of the taxi drivers. But hey, I like to pretend, I guess. Beata.
Yes.
Who is the matriarch of your family? Matriarch. Do you know this word?
I guess so. I think that's me. Just me.
You? Really?
I guess so.
You don't look old enough to be a matriarch.
Yes.
Okay. A matriarch is usually the oldest woman in the family, often grandmother, and you don't have. So you're stuck with the job. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll have to take your word for it. You look far too young, but okay. All right. Let's see. Roxanne, let me ask you a question. Roxanne, you there?
Yes,
Okay.
I hear you.
Let me ask you a question about your family. How far back can you trace your ancestors?
So sorry.
I thought I'd get you with that one. How far back can you trace your ancestry or your ancestors?
Ancestors?
Yeah.
Who is this ancestor?
Aha, good. We're going to learn something. Your ancestors is your family going back in time. Your father to your grandparents to your great grandparents to your great grandparents to your great great grandparents, and so on and so on and so on backwards through history, are your ancestors.
Ah, I know about, but that not very much. I know maybe 3 or 4.
3 or 4 generations, we could say.
Yes, only.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
some people knows maybe 7 or something else more.
Right.
But I not.
Okay. Excuse me. We call that our family tree. We can trace. We can use the verb trace. We trace our family tree. I myself have one of those crazy cousins that appointed herself to be the secretary for my entire family. And so she organizes all the family gatherings, and she has traced the family history way back 200 years or more, actually, now. Back to the American Revolution. Yes.
From where parents come, grandparents come, from where?
My family?
Yeah.
Okay, this is quite embarrassing, but since you're asking me, I will tell you. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was a soldier. Actually, he was Welsh from England. He was a soldier for the British Army when they fought in the Revolutionary War against the Americans in the American Revolutionary War. And he ran away into the forest. Off he went into the forest, into the mountains. He was a big bark, bark, bark chicken. And that was the start of my family in America.
It's great.
Yeah.
Your grandfather organization or life for
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually a lieutenant. So he was an officer in the British Army. And he ran away. He was a deserter. Yes, it's true. That's how my family started in America. It's absolutely true.
So sorry, it's now your family starting in Philippines.
Yeah, right.
Your
And
organization.
now I will be the patriarch, okay? We talked about matriarch. A patriarch is usually the oldest member of the family, or the one that kind of started the family. Paternal, father; maternal, mother. So patriarch. Yeah, I will be the patriarch of the Philippines branch of the Moody family. Yeah, that's scary, but good point. Very good. You're absolutely right. Igor.
Yeah.
He was clever. Well, thank you. I just have to say thank you, David. He was smart to run away from war. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, Igor,
Yeah.
do you have any black sheep in your family?
What is black sheep?
Ah, the black sheep of the family, the one who is different than everyone else. It's very much an idiom. The black sheep of the family is not like everybody else. They're sort of very separate.
Like mean idiot?
Well, not,
No?
no, not necessarily idiot. Different. Strange. Not like the rest of the family. Maybe the rest of the family is just normal, but one person runs off to India and becomes a Sikh and wears a turban on his head or something. He's just totally different than everybody else in the family.
It's white crown in Russia.
It's what? White crow?
Crown, yeah? Crown, bird.
A white crow.
Yeah.
Bird, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Isn't that funny? That is so strange. In Russia, most, of course, crows are black, so the different one is the white crow. Okay, in English, most sheep are white, so we say the black sheep. That's very funny. Wow. Okay, Igor, do you have any black sheep in your family?
As far as I know, no.
Really? Come on.
I think in generations. I mean, I know for sure that my generation and my parents for sure, and I start thinking elder, yeah, generation,
Uh-huh.
elder generation.
Okay. Elder generation. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Yeah, elder generation. No, the
Okay.
same average people.
Okay.
No,
Really?
very rich, no very poor. As far as I know, but I may ask to my family more deeply.
Yeah, maybe you should. I thought every family had at least one crazy uncle. You know, the uncle who at a wedding he drinks way too much, starts dancing on the table, dancing with your grandmother, singing very loudly, acting like a fool. I thought every family had one like that.
I had had in my university and my high school colleagues, classmates, as you say, that drink a lot.
Okay.
They love to drink a lot and
Yeah.
to start dancing on the table.
Okay. Well,
something like that.
In a couple days, I'm going to do a class similar to this about friends and how our friends embarrass us. So you can save that story. You could definitely use that one in a couple of days. Funny. Okay. Alberto.
Yes.
All right. Do people in your country, do people in Spain, do they live with their nuclear family, or do they live in more extended families? Which is more common?
Yeah, the more common thing in Spain, and I think in Latin countries, is the extended family. The cousins, the uncles, the aunts,
Right, exactly. Right,
Yeah.
that is the extended family.
Consider all the people who have any relationship with the nuclear family. Yeah.
Right. Okay. The nuclear family, the parents and the children is the nuclear family. Very good. I have a question. I'm actually going to ask everybody this because I'm very, very interested because I'm curious and I want to learn something. Do you have, Alberto, I'll start with you. All right. The extended family is important. Do you have family reunions? A big gathering of all the family members, the far distant cousins and aunts and uncles and just everybody come together, usually have a big feast or dinner and a big party. Does that ever happen?
Yeah. Sometimes every 5 years, every 10 years, when the grandfather or grandmother has her or his birthday. Well, it's typical, but not every year, or every
Right.
month.
To mark special birthdays, like for the oldest members of the family, things like that. Yeah.
For example.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Very similar in the U.S. Dennis, do you have family reunions?
Me?
Yeah. Dennis. It's okay.
3 years ago, it was my father's 60th birthday. It was his retirement. And yes, we had a very big reunion. Maybe it was not all relatives, but I think most of it. But we are not such a big family, actually.
Oh, really?
it's only me and brother and my mother, and my father is only one child of their parents.
Okay.
So it's not such a big amount of relatives.
Okay. So your father was an only child. When you're born without siblings, you're an only child. Okay.
He had a brother, but she died. It's very early age. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. How about your family, Beata? Do you ever have family reunions where the whole family gets together?
No, I don't think so. Maybe when some dies, we have to have a ceremony. Maybe that occasion.
Okay. Okay. Instead of somebody's birthday, somebody's death day. Okay. For the funeral. All right. Yeah, that's kind of a sad way for the family to get together, but yeah, I guess that's also common. Roxanne, does your family ever have family reunions?
Before, yes. The most our family in Russia and live in Russia because my grandmother and grandfather with my mother come to Kazakhstan to live, and another part of family stay in Russia, and we long time didn't see, and it's now grandmother and grandfather died, and we not continue to continue to
stay. You say stay in touch with, stay in contact with.
Yeah, and we not. That's on this in where I live. Only few people from family, not very big.
I see. Now, actually, that's another interesting question. Is that common for a family to be separated by long distances, or is that not really normal in Russia?
Russia is very big, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
As is the U.S. In the U.S., it's extremely common to have. I've got a cousin in Alaska. I've got one in Sacramento, California. I've got another one in Phoenix, Arizona. They're everywhere. And that's normal, I think. Wherever you can make money, actually, is where you go.
Yes, and I think if family separate for a long time, I think it's very difficult to communication, or how to say, because everybody have own business or something, own problem, and this. Yeah, I know somebody live in Russia, somebody live in somewhere, but we not talk too much. And
right. Can I ask a question? Maybe you don't know at all. Do you know why your grandfather moved to Kazakhstan?
Because family live in Siberia. Siberia, you know, it's very cold. It's very cold country.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And my grandmother have some problem with health because it's cold. No vegetables and something else, and they moved to Kazakhstan because it's warm and vegetables. That's why my grandparents moved to Kazakhstan.
Okay, all right. So actually, that's it's strange that you say that. That's very common. I wonder if that's common everywhere. In the United States, very common for older people to move to Florida. Florida, the gray hair state. Lots of old people there.
To play golf.
Play golf, you bet, Alberto.
They move for forever, or they move only for summertime, or?
Well, there's two. That's a very good question. Some of them retire there forever. Many of them, actually, and some of them are something that we call them snowbirds. Because as you inferred, they move down to, they go to Florida if they can afford two houses, right? If they can't, they just move forever. If they can afford two houses, then they go to the house in the north in the summer, and in the winter go back to Florida. Very common. Florida or Southern California or Arizona is also popular because it's warm, much warmer. Yeah. Igor, does your family ever have reunions? Did I ask you that already?
Family, what do you mean? All relatives, all siblings?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, we call that a reunion or family reunion.
Yeah, usually here from we have a lot of members of family, and they live in the city and near this city capital. So they twice a year we have some kind of reunion. But we have a birthday, maybe a wedding. So we see once a year for sure. All siblings, yeah, or what?
Yeah.
I
Siblings
mean,
are brothers
not a
and
sister,
sisters.
not a sister, but brothers. I mean, for example, my uncle, who is
Okay. Your
also,
uncle's your father's brother, and your aunt is your father's sister or mother's siblings, and their children are your cousins. You
yeah.
have a
So
lot- yeah.
all these people, who are they for me? They're siblings in one word, or
Okay.
they what? They are relatives.
They are relatives, yeah, or you can say extended family. Like
Yeah,
we
so
talked about.
all extended, all members of extended family, we see each other at least once a year, because it's a relative small city, so, and relative small country, so
Okay.
it's not so.
But
Igor,
okay. Can I ask you?
Sure.
Extended family is all members of this family live in one house or in one city
Oh,
or in
no.
one area.
not necessarily. Like when I had asked Alberto earlier, I said, is the family unit that stays together, is it just a nuclear family, or is it an extended family tends to stay together? Extended family can refer to everybody, and you can say, oh, my extended family is all over United States, for example, in my case.
Oh, it's not necessary that you are in touch. Yeah.
Right, that's right. To use the terminology, that's correct.
Okay.
Dennis, now you mentioned your brother's 9 years older. I think you told me this before. I'm pretty sure you did. Do you have a niece or nephew?
Yeah. I have a niece.
Yeah,
She's
I thought
5.
so. She's 5. Right, we did talk about this before because
Dr. Seuss.
Dr.
Okay.
Seuss, right. Now, tell me, Dennis, tell me the truth. Do you spoil your niece?
No.
No.
Otherwise, I
Why not?
I try to learn her English, for example, and
Okay.
other stuff. So I'm very good uncle, actually.
All right. You don't buy her candies and let her sit on your lap and treat her like a special princess.
She has a grandmother's face.
Ah, okay. That's what grandparents are for. I see. Okay, very good. To spoil the children. Yeah, it's sometimes aunts or uncles or grandparents treat the children or grandchildren, nieces or nephews. A niece is a girl, a nephew's a boy. They treat them extra special nice, and they don't discipline them. Yeah. Sounds like fun to me. Okay. Bertha, in Poland, I have a question for you. In Poland, is it common or is it unusual to have blended families? Now, we talked about nuclear families and extended families. A blended family is maybe a family that has gone through a divorce, and the divorced man marries another woman, and she has 3 kids. So you end up with stepbrothers and stepsisters. Like that
I think it's normal. I think it's normal.
It's normal? Really?
It's normal. In this time, before it wasn't like this.
Right, yeah. Back in the
Now
day.
life is different, so people divorce it all the time and not
Right.
again.
Yeah. It is very, very normal in the United States, actually. Do you know what the divorce rate is in Poland?
Once again, please.
Do you have any idea what the divorce rate is in Poland?
What is divorce?
Yeah, you know divorce, when you don't want to be married anymore, separate. What is the divorce rate? Rate. For example, in the United States, I happen to know it's 50%.
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know.
It's quite high in the United States. Alberto?
I don't know what is rate in Spain, but could be 25 or 20 or at least percent.
Ah, really?
So.
Okay.
Yeah. 50% is.
That's real. I know that number's real because I did the research for another class just a few days ago.
Yeah.
So I know that number's accurate. That's recent numbers. Yeah, whopping big 50% in U.S. So flip a coin, people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's about 50% in Russia too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's interesting because in the Philippines, it's very much a Catholic country, and of course, when you're a Catholic, there is no divorce. I don't know if you realize that. You can get an annulment, which means that the church recognizes that, or doesn't recognize the marriage, or the church proclaims the marriage never happened. I don't know. It's very confusing. But like getting a divorce in court, divorce papers doesn't exist in the Philippines, or extremely rare. I guess it does exist, but very rare, extremely rare. So you don't have divorce here, but you have an awful lot of men who have extra girlfriends. Hey, I just reporting the facts, okay? Don't get mad at me. It's true though. Okay. Igor, how about in Moldova? Is there a high divorce rate or a low divorce rate?
I just look up. I think
do you know?
43%.
Okay.
I just looked up in 2010.
Okay.
No, in 2011. Sorry.
Okay, so it's creeping up there. Okay. All right. Well, divorce is kind of a... Well, okay. I guess I can ask one more question. When people get a divorce in Moldova, what kind of reasons do they have to get a divorce? Do they have to have special reasons, in other words?
I don't know. They don't want to live with each other. They don't have in common something. And they give documents to divorce, and here it's you should wait. You have to wait 1 month before to sign these documents. They give you time to think, rethink if you want to divorce.
They do that in U.S. too. And in U.S. you don't really need a special reason. You can just say irreconcilable differences. We have
what
differences.
Does that mean? Reconcilable.
It doesn't mean anything really.
No, but this word, what means reconcilable?
You mean in court? You mean in court?
Yeah, that's right. You cite Irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable, the word means you cannot reconcile, you cannot get back together, not fixable, not repairable.
Did you spell correct this word? Irreconcilable first word.
I think so, but you know, I don't have our friend there in the chat box policing me today. I usually have a student policing my misspellings, but he's not with me today, unfortunately. So I don't know if that's. I think it's right, but not 100% sure.
Sorry, Oakley, what's
Yeah.
your opinion? Why it's too many people in USA divorce? It's your opinion, not statistic.
Oh, stump the teacher time. Well, I just think I don't know. It's too easy. Maybe people, I don't know, something happened to people in the United States. They became very consumer-minded and very me. And not really. That's it. Thank you, Igor. Yes, thank you for the correction. I don't know. I think something happened to society as a whole. But, you know, I don't know if it's absolutely terrible thing, because people more like my older aunts and uncles and grandparents' age, there were some miserable couples. They felt they had to stay married, but wow, just fighting every minute. Really horrible. So I don't know if that's really. My grandparents were really weird. They were never going to break up. They stayed married for 50 years. But very strange, because my grandfather loved to drink, go out to bars. He'd go fishing and he wouldn't come home for 3 days. He was something else. And my grandmother, I never heard a curse word out of her mouth. She never drank alcohol. She didn't know how to drive a car. She was an immaculate housewife. And she went to church 3 times a week. Very religious. It was a very strange couple, my grandmother and grandfather. You never would have thought. But somehow, they worked it out for 50 years. I don't know.
So
They were complementaries.
I'm sorry, what's that, Alberto?
They were complementaries.
Complementary. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they were somehow complementary. Yeah, I don't know, but everybody thought it was kind of amazing. But
so irreconcilable differences is incompatibility, or what?
Incompatibility. That's right.
Yeah,
that's another way to say it. Incompatibility. Okay. That's correct. Very good. That's exactly correct. All right, I'm gonna see if I can welcome Chow here. Hey, Chow. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, we're talking about families. I'm going to try to change the direction a little bit. We're talking about divorce, and my wife is looking at me funny now. So I'm going to change the topic. Save myself some problems.
Sorry, one more question.
Oh, jeez. You just want me to get in trouble, don't you? Okay.
No. Filipino people or America people different family attitude to family. It's different. Or
totally. Very different. Yeah. Very common, as in Spain and Philippines, very common for an extended family to live together. Grandmother and grandfather, maybe a couple aunts and uncles, maybe some cousins. Very common to have 12, 14 people in a house. Very common here. And family comes before everything. You know, as an American, to be honest with you, Americans think job comes first. When we greet each other, we say, you know, we'll say, how do you do? When I meet you the first time, my first question about your life is, so what do you do? What do you do for a living? When you ask that to a Philippines, they say, well, I spend time with my family, I like to go to church, I enjoy bowling. I like reading. They'll tell you everything but work. Work is the last thing on their list, which is good and bad. It has bad points to that too. But family is always numero one. Number one. Absolutely. Family above everything else here in the Philippines. First.
I think because United States is a capitalistic-oriented country, so you are successful when you have a good job with a good salary. So when people meet each other, they are interested that live better or not than me, basically.
Yeah,
something like that.
I think that's probably a good point. Yeah, it's quite a lot different. But it's one of the reasons I like being here. All
countries are capitalistic now, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Be hard to find. Well, I don't know. North Korea? I don't know. I'm trying to think of one. It's difficult.
The mother of capitalism is United States or another country? I think United States, no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
I think yes.
You think so? Okay. I'll give that one to you.
I need to Google.
Yeah, Google it and report back. I don't know. I'm not an economics major. Most of those economics, the idea of capitalism, most of those guys were British, though. So I don't know. You might want to talk to those guys. Okay. Anyway, Chow. We're talking about family relationships, and all kinds of vocabulary and wonderful things like that. Chow, tell me, who in your family do you feel the most close to? Who are you closest to? Your mom, your dad, your brother? Who?
My parents. I know my mother, my mom. I'm also close to my father, but just we don't talk too much. I think we just connect with the heart. I mean, yeah, you know that.
Okay.
And in China, I'm in the period that the one child policy, so I'm the only child in my family. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. So, can I ask you maybe? I don't know. This is a very personal question, Chow, but
Yeah.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Do you ever wish you had a brother or sister?
Actually, when I was a child, and when others asked me this question, I said no, absolutely no. That boy would just how should I put this way? Grab the love from my parents. And actually, when I grew up, and I thought it is good to have a younger brother, but the time is too late, so no. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that very honest answer. Yes, brothers and sisters are fun. You fight like cats and dogs all growing up, but then you depend on them a lot when you get older.
Yeah.
So even though you don't have the experience, I think you got the idea.
But I would like to have 2 children.
Really?
Yeah, in the future.
Okay.
Because the policy is changed when if the 2 couples have if they both the only child in their family, and they can have 2 children when they have grow to
Okay. They can have 2 children.
Yeah, if they are both the only child.
Right. You can't say 2 children's. Okay. They can have 2 children. That's okay. That's interesting. So, you what do you want? A boy and a girl?
A boy and a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
The matching set. Okay.
Yeah.
That's appropriate. I have 2 girls, so now I have to work on 2 boys. I have a lot of work to do, Chow.
What if you have another girl?
Well, then we're going for 6. Woohoo! Half dozen. Why not? Do any of you guys come from a big family? Like really big family? So far, everybody comes from a pretty small family. Okay. I think the tendency are smaller and smaller and smaller families now. Of course, China had rules, which Chow was just talking about, but most developed countries are just naturally the birth rate is going down. I don't know if we can say naturally. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but the birth rate is declining in most countries. And people are getting older and having less babies. Actually, let's talk about that for just a minute. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Igor? Is that true in Moldova? Do you know?
I think because why population is. Could you repeat your question, please?
Sure. In not everywhere in the world, but most developed countries, in the United States, in Korea, in Japan, I think in Russia as well, from what I've read, the birth rate is decreasing, the number of babies that people have.
I think for each country in part we should look. So exist some countries where people do not have, I don't know, enough money to maintain to raise children. So exist such countries, but exist countries where they have money, but they do not want, I don't know, for some reasons, 2 children. Maybe they want only 1 child. So maybe this is one reason, one of the reasons.
Okay. It's kind
Depends
of an
on
ironic.
each country in part, but I know that in China, it's not a problem for sure.
Well, China, do you know why they want to? There used to be one child only policy, which Chow was telling us about, but now they've relaxed that policy. They want Chinese people to make more babies. Do you know why?
No.
Do you know why, Chow?
Because I think Chinese also face the baby boom, and and Chinese also face the problem that the people get elder in the society. I mean, the percentage of the society, and it would be harder for the younger people to maintain the elders' life. So they need more younger life in this society. I think they want to just improve it.
I think
Need
Chow.
people who will work in future.
That's exactly right. I think Chow hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly right. That's right. You need people to make the money so that the elderly can pay, their health care costs and
Taxes and all kind of
everything, living expenses, everything. Yeah, and that's a problem in many countries. I mean, some countries like Japan and Korea, it's a really bad problem because they're not doing anything about it. At least China had certain rules and they're changing their rules. Actually, the United States isn't really doing much about it either, except in the United States, actually one way we combat that is by allowing immigrants. More immigrants come into the country. The company. Ooh, slip of the tongue. It's kind of funny. More immigrants come in, then we have more workers to support
and also
old American people.
Illegal
Also,
immigrants you have many.
Yeah, we do.
From Mexican, and they
we do.
They have more children than people who live from. I don't know how we can say that people who are they are not native, but people who are U.S. citizens, let's say.
Yeah, are U.S. citizens. Yes, but believe it or not, a lot of those illegal immigrants pay taxes. And that's all I care about. They're paying for my Social Security. I don't care if they're illegal. They pay taxes.
How do they pay?
How do they pay? Because you can go into the United States and you can get a Social Security number, and that's all you need, and then you have to pay taxes. All you need to get a job in America is a social security number. So you walk in the office, you pay $50, they give you a number, then you can go get a job in America. You don't have to have a visa. The systems aren't really connected, which is why there's so many illegal immigrants. So there's a lot of people, they go work for a company, they're paying their taxes, they're actually not getting any taxes back. So
it's very strange.
It is strange. I agree. And many Americans are so angry. Oh, the immigrants have stolen our jobs. But they don't seem to realize that the immigrants are paying tax in many cases. Sometimes it's under the table, okay, which is, of course, totally illegal. It's under the table, and the business is not paying their taxes, their Social Security, nothing. So sometimes it is under the table. But quite often, it's not. They're paying into the system.
But as far as I know, that people from Mexico, for example, they work in the. I read somewhere on the internet that they work in California state, for example, as construction workers or as dishwashers, something very bad jobs, and they have $6-7 per hour, something like that, and that's why people from United States, they do not have a job in that state as California, because for businesses it's cheaper to find a Mexican immigrant and to pay for that person $7 maximum per hour, instead to find American citizen and to pay $10, for example.
Yes, and this is very true. And this does happen, and that's absolutely true, especially in areas such as you mentioned, like construction and farming, agriculture, picking crops. Definitely happens, no question. But there are probably an equal amount of people who manage to get a Social Security number and work at again, you're right. They're not getting paid much, probably minimum wage. But I worked in a couple restaurants in California that I know they really didn't have papers. They didn't have green cards or visas, but they were working at the restaurant, and I know that they were having taxes withheld, and the taxes were going to the government. I'm not just making it up. I know because I experienced it with my own eyes. I had friends who were Mexican workers.
So from $6 per hour, they pay taxes, yeah?
Yeah, well, no, they'd be getting minimum, whatever the minimum wage is. But yeah, it still would be minimum wage, not a whole lot more than $6, $7.50 or something. Yeah, they would pay taxes.
They pay taxes, or company pay taxes for them, in which they work.
The company withholds taxes. How it works in the United States, if I make $400 a week, I will get paid. The company will actually give me $300 a week. The company then every quarter, every 3 months, will send the tax money to the government. So my taxes are automatically paid. I don't really have to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But if you have legal this social number, how can you be illegal? It's just
because
really
you don't really need much to get a Social Security number in the United States. All you really need is a birth certificate, and I can fake you one of those. I can send you one of those in the email.
And what the visa for?
Visa? Well, there's many visas. You know, we also have a lot of immigrants in the United States.
I mean green card.
Green card is for working.
Yeah.
Yeah, an HB1. There's many kinds of visas. There's a lot of people that come on a student visa to study, but then they stay in the country and work. Very common. Very common. I knew several people. I was in the restaurant business, so Igor's right. There's a lot of people in the restaurant business who are immigrants. You're absolutely right. And I worked with Russians, Peruvians, Mexicans, Slovakians, many from Slavic countries, few Russians actually. And what they would do is they would get a student visa. They'd work their student visa, but then they would somehow apply for a tourist visa and keep working, or they would get married often, or they'd figure out how to become legal. Once you're in the United States, it's pretty easy to do some extra paperwork, pay a little extra money, and end up legal. It's not that hard. Really, the ones that really do badly are the ones that are totally illegal. They come in the country, they pick grapes, and then they go back to Mexico when the grape season's over. They are totally illegal and not on the books anywhere. But so there's a lot of different kinds of illegal immigrants. But anyway, how did we get on this subject?
Yeah, but you say that you can go, for example, to be without any documents in the United States and to get social security number. Kind of first time I heard from you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's my fault. I brought it up. Yeah, it's true. Well, the other thing is, actually, to tie it back in to our original discussion, actually, most immigrants that I meet, the first thing they do is they manage to get their entire family there. When you see a family of immigrants in America, you're talking about 10, 12, 14 people living in a house. And they're all working like 2 jobs. And they're all sending money. They work hard, man. Seriously, they have to. They're making $6, $7 an hour. But they have great families.
Real
of families. Yeah, the whole extended family would end up. So I don't know. America's immigration problems, they need the immigrants to support the growing elderly population. So they have to realize that. And many American citizens get angry that they're losing jobs, but the reality is they're jobs that no American wants anyway. You know, really, you want the job washing dishes or picking grapes? No, you don't.
But they would want to have $15 per hour or
Yeah.
$16 per hour. They would work, but if they pay you only $7, of course they don't want, and that's why they're angry. Because someone work for $7, but they would work for $40 per hour, for example.
Right, exactly. But then, you know, what comes around goes around. They could, all right, get a job for $15 an hour picking grapes, and then when they went to the store to buy grapes, the grapes would cost $20 a pound. Tough luck, chappie. You know, it comes around, it goes around. Then they complain that prices were too high. So, where do you win? You know.
No. I think separate profits goes to the owners of that grapes or the people on the top. The separate profits, of this these businesses. So if the system works fine, I think grapes would be the same price. If the system would work fine.
No, it wouldn't, because the owners would be very angry. Those rich guys you're talking about would get pissed off. They would be upset. Are you kidding me? I don't know. It's a controversial thing, a big problem, but what we're talking about is family growth and birth rate. That's how we got on this whole thing, and why birth rate is a problem. Taking care of the older people in the family. But this is very controversial. And immigration does play a part in it, in birth rate, in, you know, your grandparents getting older and older. What's the oldest person you know? How old is the oldest person you know, Bertha?
I think it's my father. He's 86 years right now.
86. Well, God bless him.
86.
That's terrific. Who's the oldest? Who's the oldest person you know, Roxanne?
In my town or in my family or
Both.
everywhere?
Anywhere.
No, I watch on TV and some maybe Japanese woman. I don't know exactly. Maybe 100 is, and 110 years. Like this.
110 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe somebody.
Do you want to be 110 years old?
No.
Well, that's a topic.
Why?
Why?
For women, it's very, very strange.
For a woman, it's very
Questions.
strange. Okay.
110.